Financing Agriculture Sustainably Competence in Agriculture. I want to tell you that we are on a journey to change this country as stated by the head of state. And we believe that the base and the foundation, which is agriculture, should be oiled, wired. We tighten all the nuts and all the bolts to make sure that as we put it on the road, it works and it can go the longest journey. We need to see how to invest on the rest of the country where there's a lot of land, lot of virgin land, fertile land, but it is only lacking water. So the 70% of the arid areas where the population many times is sparse, just because of climatical condition to do with rain, that is the area you will make history as a team, as a nation. So as you think wild and try to make a change, I want to request all of us to also focus on those large pieces of land, which when you put water, it may not only feed this country, but it can also produce food for export. Because we want to talk about export market. It means by talking about export market, you have sorted out our national food security challenges. And that should be a focus in financing. How much do we require to open up the virgin land? I expect that one to be part of the discussion in this conference, so that we are seen like we are looking outside the box into other boxes, because many a time we don't see there is a lot of land in the distant part of this country, a lot of land in Turkana, a lot of land in Mandera, a lot of land in lower part of coast. And what we need is water. If you ask yourself, is it very hard to get that water? If it means really it is only water, can we do what it takes to make sure that it happens? Also, be briefly, as we discuss agriculture, of the fact that agriculture is devolved. Now, I've always said, as national government and Ministry of Agriculture, we have no business being in business on matters agriculture. Our work is policy, and we want to support and facilitate the county government to roll the economy and run agriculture. But we also want the same county government to hand over the baton to the private sector to mow the agricultural sector. And that is what we'll be looking for, so that we have all the partners involved, because you are dealing with one customer. So us at the policy level is to ensure that we create an enabling environment with clear policies in place, legal framework in place, to assist the rolling out of the agenda in agriculture. And I expect the stakeholders, the private sector, to be the one to move this economy. Otherwise, I want to declare this conference, media conference, officially open for the next 2 months before the 27th, 28th of March, when we'll have the biggest conference in this country to discuss a paper on matters to do with sustainable financing of the agriculture and livestock sector.
Thank you very, very much indeed. My name is Professor Emeritus Ratemu Micheka, and I used to be a professor at the University of Nairobi. And my really concern on this big conference coming up is I'm part of the organizing committee, and I'm chairing really the initial stages of this meeting until we finalize it. My expectations as at now is to have a conference that will promote agriculture financing without us asking questions as to whether it is risk or not. Because even when we had COVID 2019, everybody was actually out at home but eating. So we would like to sustain that momentum and see how best we can finance farmers and finance anybody doing some work in agriculture. I think really, I'm so happy that I came to this conference, this breakfast meeting this morning, a pre-conference arrangement. The PS was extremely categorical in trying to explain what the country wants agriculture to produce, agriculture to enhance jobs, agriculture to enhance food value, and agriculture to enhance productivity within the country. My take in this is that finances really will make a lot of difference. We don't put in a lot of money on financing agriculture. We stop it at a level, and those who practice even good agriculture give up very quickly. So my take in this, and the way forward, is to go out and really play what we talk, what we promise to do to the farmers, and what we promise in the financing of this particular sector, which is, I think, to me, one of the most important in the world today. There is no country without really having sections of agriculture. Man is born, food crops are raised and tamed. They have to feed the persons. We have put little less, say, in livestock. And I think, to me, I heard today very clearly that livestock also is really major part of agriculture and a major part that needs financing so that we have both values of proteins, starches, and carbohydrates. Let me say this really. I have been to conferences myself, and I've been to seminars, big symposia on all areas of aspects. But I think this particular one, 2024, that we started with, and I said earlier during my remarks, is one of the most popular, with a lot of development partners coming in place. And I really thank Rotuba for organizing such a strong conference. Many more actually will come in. Having seen this, I see both parastatals, international organizations like GIZ and Trademark Africa, the bank, local bank, APSA, which in my view sometimes is actually very private in a lot of ways. Having them here, to me, will open even places for other banks to join us. Yes, that would be a very good one. I'm glad that we came here. People have seen it, and I think this launch will now encourage many other persons to come, including even Equity Bank. You know, they do education and all this, but we are talking about livelihoods of human beings and job creation.
On behalf of the Ag Development Partners Group, thank you for the invitation to launch this conference. We know that sustainable financing is crucial for long-term transformation of Kenya's agricultural sector, and it's critical for enabling food and nutrition security and environmental sustainability for years to come. Effective financing from both the private and public sectors may be the ultimate game changer for agricultural systems, since a lack of inclusive financing, we know, is a key constraint to development. This joint conversation we're beginning today will help prioritize resources. It will increase investment and foster mutual accountability commitment, which is critical for the development of Kenya's agricultural market system. I want to thank the government for convening stakeholders around this important initiative. The Ag and is currently USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, and I'd like to take this opportunity now to reaffirm the entire group's commitment with the government of Kenya, their priorities in a way that will strengthen Kenya's financial sustainability and resilience. We all know that to economic development. Funding and investment in agriculture, however, have been historically low here and around the world. The Ag and Rural Development Partners Group is committed to supporting and enriching this forum with lessons learned, best practices, and empirical evidence from our own work in Kenya and our comparative work worldwide as a group. I want to commend the conference methodology, which includes vital discussions before, during, and after the conference, which is critical. This will keep stakeholders engaged, open numerous entry points to have different conversations and ask tough questions, and help develop practical solutions and outcomes. I would implore all of us to please not let this conference be yet another that doesn't lead to tangible impact. This is so, so important. On behalf of the Ag and Rural Development Partners Group, we are eager to contribute to these discussions and resolutions, and we look forward to the productive outcomes that will advance the sector's development to the next level. Thank you.
I'm really grateful, and the organizing team is very, very grateful that we all found time to come and partake of us, not just the breakfasts, but to be part of kickstarting this extremely important conversation for the country. This is really a homegrown enterprise that focuses on 4 aspects, and that is building capacity for various value chain actors in the agricultural sector, data generation for decision making, implementation through co-creation and partnership, and facilitating transformative conversations just like the one we're having in this room today. And of course, we are guided by 3 pillars, that is knowledge, partnership, and empowerment. It's a high time as a country that we took charge and realized that at some point we have to stop crawling, sitting on our mother's back, and learn to walk with confidence. And hopefully, this conversation can begin, and I know you know this, I'm not saying that this is what we do, but we can begin to put reality checks and make sure that one time in future, Kenya can be, having its place and talking as a country that others can learn from. And finally, these are not, issues that are very unique to Kenya. Sub-Saharan Africa is the same. We would want to transition this conversation at some point to the African landscape, but use Kenya to learn our lessons. And ladies and gentlemen, with those remarks, I hope I've created